Have you ever felt like your Chihuahua understands your emotions better than some people do? One minute, they're glued to your side. The next, they're acting jealous, worried, excited, or even offended. But here's the surprising part. Chihuahuas aren't just emotional dogs. Many experts believe they're among the most emotionally expressive dog breeds on Earth, and the reason why might completely change the way you see your tiny companion.
If you've ever wondered why your Chihuahua seems to feel everything so intensely, you're not imagining it. These little dogs form incredibly deep emotional connections with the people they trust. Today, we're going to explore why Chihuahuas are so emotional, what makes them different from many other breeds, and why some of their most dramatic behaviors are actually signs of something much deeper. And stay until the end, because one emotional trait that many owners think is a problem might actually be proof of just how much your Chihuahua loves you. Let's get started.
They were bred to be close to humans. To understand Chihuahua emotions, we need to go back hundreds of years. Many dog breeds were developed for specific jobs. Some herded livestock, some hunted game, some guarded property. But Chihuahuas evolved with a different focus. They became companion animals. Their greatest purpose wasn't chasing prey or protecting farms, it was staying close to people. And over generations, dogs that formed stronger bonds with humans were more likely to thrive. Think about it this way. Imagine two dogs. One enjoys being around people. The other practically lives for human attention. Which one becomes the ultimate companion? The second one. Generation after generation, that emotional attachment became stronger. Today, many Chihuahuas don't just like their owners. They become emotionally invested in them. That's why your Chihuahua may follow you from room to room. Not because they're curious, because being near you feels emotionally important. And that's only the beginning.
Their small size changes how they see the world. Imagine spending your entire life surrounded by creatures 10 times your size. Everything would seem bigger, louder, more intimidating. That's reality for a Chihuahua. Most Chihuahuas weigh less than a house cat. The world can feel overwhelming. Because of this, many Chihuahuas become highly alert to changes around them. A stranger entering the room, a loud sound outside, a different tone in your voice. They notice everything. This heightened awareness often creates stronger emotional reactions. What looks like overreacting may actually be a survival instinct. Their brains are constantly asking, is everything okay? Am I safe? Is my person safe? This sensitivity helps explain why Chihuahuas can seem anxious, protective, or clingy. They're processing a world that often feels much bigger than they are. And that sensitivity leads directly to another fascinating trait.
They read human emotions extremely well. Have you ever noticed your Chihuahua acting differently when you're sad? Maybe they cuddle closer. Maybe they refuse to leave your side. Maybe they simply sit nearby and watch you. Many owners experience this, and there's a reason. Dogs are surprisingly good at reading human emotions. They pay attention to facial expressions, voice tone, body language, daily routines. But Chihuahuas often seem especially tuned in because they're constantly focused on their favorite person. Think about how much time your Chihuahua spends watching you. Seriously, they observe almost everything. When you leave, when you return, when you smile, when you're stressed. Over time, they become experts at recognizing your emotional patterns. It's almost like they're studying you every day. And once they notice a change, they often react emotionally themselves. This is why some Chihuahuas seem unusually empathetic. They're not reading your mind. They're reading you, and they do it remarkably well. Seriously, they observe almost everything. Quick question. Has your Chihuahua ever comforted you when you were upset or having a bad day? If so, let us know in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And if you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Chihuahua content every week. Now, let's talk about one of the most misunderstood Chihuahua behaviors. The real reason they get jealous.
Many Chihuahua owners have seen it. You're petting another dog, talking to someone else, or even hugging a family member. Suddenly, your Chihuahua appears, and then not happy. Some people call it jealousy, and honestly, that's not far from the truth. But what's happening underneath is even more interesting. Your Chihuahua places enormous value on their relationship with you. You're not just another person. You're their comfort zone, their security system, their source of affection. When something appears to compete for that connection, they notice immediately. It's not necessarily about dominance. Often, it's about attachment. Imagine a child becoming upset when their parent suddenly gives all their
attention elsewhere. The emotion comes from fear of losing connection. Many Chihuahuas experience something very similar. Of course, healthy training and boundaries are important, but understanding the emotional root helps us respond with patience instead of frustration. And that emotional attachment gets even stronger because of something called the favorite person effect.
The favorite person phenomenon. One of the most famous Chihuahua traits is choosing a favorite person. Sometimes it's obvious. One family member becomes their entire world. They follow them, sleep beside them, wait for them, protect them. But why does this happen? Part of the answer is trust. Chihuahuas often form their deepest bond with the person who consistently meets their emotional needs, the person who feeds them, comforts them, talks to them, spends time with them. Over months and years, that bond grows stronger. Eventually, the relationship becomes incredibly meaningful to the dog. This is why some Chihuahuas become emotional when their favorite person leaves. They're not being dramatic. They're responding to the temporary absence of their strongest emotional connection. And now, we're arriving at the most powerful reason of all.
Their big emotions come from big love. People often joke that Chihuahuas have huge personalities trapped inside tiny bodies, but there's more truth in that statement than most realize. What many owners describe as dramatic behavior is often the visible result of intense emotional attachment. The excitement when you come home, the concern when you're sick, the desire to sit next to you, the constant need to know where you are. All of these behaviors come from the same place: connection. For a Chihuahua, relationships matter deeply. Their emotional world revolves around trust, safety, and closeness. And when those bonds are strong, their feelings become impossible to hide. That's why they can seem so expressive. They're not trying to be emotional. They simply are.
The surprising upside of Chihuahua sensitivity, here's something many people overlook. The same sensitivity that causes anxiety or clinginess can also create extraordinary loyalty. Because Chihuahuas feel so strongly, they often form some of the deepest human-dog bonds you'll ever see. They celebrate your return like you've been gone for years. They notice changes in your mood. They seek comfort from you and offer comfort in return. In many ways, their emotional nature is what makes them special. Yes, it can sometimes be challenging, but it's also the reason so many Chihuahua owners say, once you've loved a Chihuahua, no other dog feels quite the same. And if you're watching this right now, you probably understand exactly what that means.
So why are Chihuahuas so emotional? Because they were bred to bond closely with humans. Because their tiny size makes them highly aware of their surroundings. Because they're incredibly skilled at reading people. Because they form powerful attachments. And because they experience love, trust, and connection with remarkable intensity. What may look like drama on the surface is often something much deeper. A dog that genuinely cares. A dog that feels deeply. A dog that has chosen you as part of its world. If your Chihuahua has ever made you laugh, cry, or feel incredibly loved, then you already know how special these little dogs can be. Thanks for watching. Check out my newsletter for more Chihuahua content. And remember, behind every tiny Chihuahua is a heart much bigger than anyone expects. We'll see you in the next video.